What is going on, y'all? It's your man Mike Titan, the gaming savant, here with my co-host Bryan Greer, and we're here talking about the NBA Finals, Game 1, Cleveland Cavaliers versus the Golden State Warriors. The Warriors pulled out the win, winning 108-100 in overtime, pretty much shutting out the Cleveland Cavaliers, besides the last-second layup by LeBron in overtime. Bryan Greer, how you doing today, man?
I'm doing good. I think after Game 1, we already have a clear NBA Finals MVP. That's right. It is the Golden State Warriors PR department for having E40 as the halftime performance. I'm on cloud nine, so I can't really say much else besides that. So congratulations to the Golden State PR department for already winning the NBA Finals MVP and already being in the Hip Hop Hall of Fame.
Yeah, see, they just showing the Bay Area some love. It would have been a lot better. Maybe Game 2, they'll have Too Short, or they'll get a hologram of Mac Dre for the halftime performance.
You know what? You took the words out of my mouth. They're one step away from being on the mantle with I think Tupac and Biggie. If they just go ahead and get Too Short for Game 2, you know they'll be in the top 3, dead or alive.
Very well said. Starting off this game, the Cavaliers got out to a big lead, outscoring the Warriors 29-19 in the first half, and that's pretty much where that lead ended. It was pretty much a back-and-forth game throughout the second, third, and fourth quarters, and then, of course, in overtime, Golden State outscoring them 10-2. Now, big news for this game for all you Cavaliers fans out there. Kyrie Irving went out of the game with an apparent leg injury at the closing in of the fourth quarter. He looked like it was very bad because he was limping off the court as he was going into the back. As we all know, the Cavaliers were probably neck and neck with Irving in this series after they did give him a week of rest after coming off the Eastern Conference Finals against the Hawks. Without Irving, I see this as a big problem for the Cavaliers because without Irving, you really have nobody else to set up that offense besides LeBron James. That also takes away the scoring that Irving has and the assist ability. What do you think of Kyrie Irving's injury at the end of the game?
Yeah, it looked bad also because it was non-contact, and this is huge if he is out for this series for the Cavaliers because, as you said, his assist ability and scoring ability is something that the Cavaliers severely need because if he's not there, good luck to the Cavaliers because I don't know who they're going to have out there to be as consistent as he is and to stabilize the offense. And also to guard Steph Curry. That's something that has been talked about enough because he did a pretty good job in the first half of guarding Steph Curry and also had a crucial block at the end of the fourth quarter to allow the game to go to overtime.
Yeah, where he got that, I guess you call it a fingertip block, or he just, wagged his hand behind the ball just to knock it give it a little bit more force. So instead of going in, it goes over on the other side of the basket. I don't know what it is about the Golden State Warriors. They must just have voodoo against opposing point guards because throughout the whole playoffs, the starting point guard for that team seemed to be injured. You had Drew Holiday against the Pelicans. You had Mike Conley with the face fracture and his foot injury from the last series against the Grizzlies. Of course, Patrick Beverley was out for the Rockets, and now you got Kyrie Irving. So I don't know what type of voodoo they got before they started these playoff runs, but it seems to be working pretty well for them. One thing I had to note about this game, I'm not sure if this was a coaching decision, which I'm probably sure it was, but the Cavaliers did not really use their bench this game. They didn't put James Jones into the fourth quarter with like a minute left.
Yeah, he's been hot the whole playoffs.
Yes. Exactly. He's been playing that good small forward / power forward where he can stretch the floor and give LeBron James another shoot on the floor. They also didn't play Mike Miller either. And listen to this. LeBron James, 46 minutes. Kyrie Irving, 44 minutes. Tristan Thompson, 47 minutes. J.R. Smith, 34 minutes. I believe the next closest person after that had 16, which I believe was Mozgov, and then 9 after that was Deladova. For the Warriors, I believe the person who had the most minutes was, I want to say it was Steph Curry, and I would believe it was somewhere between the mid to low 30s. So that just tells me that Steve Kerr used his bench. Maurice Spates came in, had an excellent game. He just played 9 minutes, but he had 8 points, 3 rebounds. Festus Ezeli coming off the bench after having a very good last series in the Western Conference Finals, came in and played very well for them. Andre Iguodala came off the bench, and he gave him 15 points off the bench in about 32 minutes, so a very good six-man scoring. What points did you see on your side for the game?
I want to talk also about Andre Iguodala's defense against LeBron. In the fourth quarter, he just was able to wear him down. And really on that last shot of the fourth quarter, he just was not able to get past Iguodala. It really forced him into a bad shot. And you could just tell that his length is really going to affect LeBron on the defensive end. And also, as you said about the Cavaliers not being able to, play their bench. They're going to have to. It's a long series. And Steve Kerr seems to realize that a lot more than David Blatt. And I think that's something that needs to be, really, addressed on the Cavaliers, scouting team, because you got to play Mike Miller, Sean Mary, and the James Jones. You got to play those guys because they can be very effective if you give them shots. But if you, just have them sit on the bench, they're going to wear down the starters. Like you said, playing over 40 minutes, that's in game one and going into overtime. That's going to be something that the Cavaliers are going to have to really address, I believe, if they're going to have a shot in this series, especially with Kyrie Irving being hurt now.
Yes, very well put. It's something to say when you have three of your starters playing over 40 plus minutes, especially in overtime. So that adds on about another 5 minutes or however long overtime is. So do that over a 4, 5, 6, maybe even 7 game series. That's going to add up, especially now that this is the only game going on. So they're probably going to play either every other day or every 2 days. I believe the next game 2 is Sunday. So I think that gives them about 3 days of rest before they play again. I think that's going to be a very, very interesting to see how Blatt uses his bench in the second game. Like you said, I'm interested to see if they use James Jones early, Mike Miller, maybe give more minutes to Deladova and Iman Shumpert coming off the bench as well. Just very interested to see how he's going to do that with his coaching changes.
Yeah, he's going to have to do that, especially like Dellavedova's going to have to get into the offense more, because even if Kyrie Irving does play in game 2, he is not going to be able to play the same amount of minutes. We saw him going off the court. No, he's not going to be 100%. They're talking about, are you going to be 100%? We need to stop talking about that, because that's just not going to be a possibility in this series.
Yeah, I mean, at this point in the playoffs, I don't think anybody is 100%, unless, you're Brandon Rush, who's, been on the bench all day, been on the bench all season as the 13th man on the team. But at this point, your starters are going to have injuries. Your bench is going to have not as much injuries, but some stuff nicking and ailing them. So it's pretty much going to see who out of those two teams to be able to fight through them. But I do agree that if they continue this pattern, I think LeBron will get worn down by game 3. And I think if they go to a game 5 or 6, that the other, Smith, Thompson, or anybody else who played 40 plus minutes is going to get run down as well.
Yeah, it will, because LeBron was out of his mind tonight, as we know, with 44 points. Yes. But it was on 38 shots. Yeah. LeBron is not that kind of volume shooter. And he missed 20 shots, 18 out of 38, and you can't expect LeBron to do that every game, and to carry that team. And I just don't think that the Cavaliers got Timothy Mozgov the ball enough, because he was dunking all over the Warriors and just was really in his groove, as you said, the playoffs. I don't know why they don't do that more, but they should have got him more in the offense. But with Kyrie Irving out now, they're going to have to do that.
Yeah, they're definitely going to have to get him more touches. He was just pretty much having his way at will. I know that one alley-oop off the pick and roll he caught over Andrew Bogut, getting offensive rebounds. Tristan Thompson also had 15 rebounds this game. Yes. He only had 2 points, but he was just a man amongst boys on those boards, just getting offensive rebounds, defensive rebounds. It's going to be key to see if he can continue that through this series, like you said, with the injury to Kyrie Irving. So they may have to depend on him a little bit more on offense as well. But I do agree with you. I think Mozgov should have got the ball more. And then also, like you said, LeBron's not that big of a volume shooter. Yes, he had 44 points, but like you said, on 38 shots, he's more along the person that the way he gets open is by getting other people open, meaning that he ISOs, he drives to the basket, kicks it out, runs pick and rolls with different players, ISOs himself, pretty much makes the defense focus on him. And I think that the Warriors did a good job. Now, they did let him score 44 points, but I believe the next closest scorer to him had somewhere around the range of like 18, 20 points. I think it was Kyrie Irving. He had 23 points. Yes. Yeah, then I think they only had maybe 2 or 3 people in double-figure scorings. Then after that, everybody else was in single digits. So I think the Golden State Warriors did well. They pretty much said, you know what, LeBron, we're going to let you get yours, but we're going to try to contain everybody else, and it seemed to work out very well for him.
Yeah, it did. Now, for one thing, I do think that Steve Kerr needs to mix it up with a couple of double teams every once in a while, because you cannot, in Cleveland, when they go, on the road, allow LeBron to do that. Because remember, he will get more calls and go to the line a lot more when they go to Cleveland. So I think he needs to mix up this a little bit more double teams, because if you saw Mr. YOLO, aka J.R. Smith, out there shooting 3-pointers, which were 10 of them he shot tonight, and made 3 of them. So if you can do the percentage on that, it was not too well for him. But if you allow him to just continue to shoot, the percentage are in your favor of winning the game.
Yeah, very well said. Like you said, going 3 for 10 for 3-point lines is not really good, but if you keep letting him shoot stuff like that, a good scorer like J.R. Smith will eventually shoot that. I do say that they probably should have double teamed him a little bit more, but you can't really argue with that since it worked out in their favor. Now, I do think that in game 2 with Kyrie, we don't know the status of Kyrie Irving. My sentiments is he'll probably won't play next game, just the way that he walked off the court and the way his injury is. So I think that they probably will try to rely on Smith more to score. Tristan Thompson, hopefully give the ball more to Timothy Mozgov as well. But I think LeBron is going to be where the offense starts and where the offense ends, because when they take him off the court, like you said, you pretty much just got Mr. YOLO throwing up threes and just seeing if Tristan Thompson can get him an offensive rebound for another shot.
Yeah, but you know what? You've got to blame the Cavs for this. Mm-hmm. You've got to have a full arsenal when you get to the finals. I know they won the Eastern Conference Finals, but as you saw, the Hawks were injured. Yes. Everybody knows that the Golden State Warriors are not just Steph Curry and Klay Thompson, the Splash Brothers. They have guys like Andre Iguodala, Maurice Spades, Andrew Bogut, even Leandro Barbosa was hitting a couple shots, Harrison Barnes. They have guys that can get hot, and you have to have a full roster in order to do that. And they're out there right now playing with LeBron versus 5 every time.
Yeah, you're totally right. They are. The Warriors pretty much built their team for a playoff run. Like you said, they have players on their team who could easily go start for another team. I think Sean Livingston in the right system could start. Barbosa could start or either be a 6-man. I think with the play that he had the playoffs, I think Festus Ezeli, because I know Van Gundy and Mark Jackson always talk about this, how he could start on another team in the NBA as a center. So I think the Warriors definitely have it when it comes to depth. And mind you, they didn't even play David Lee this game. I know he's still coming off the injury from the end of the season, but
that shows you what kind of depth they have.
Yeah, exactly.
That's scary.
Yeah, exactly. You didn't play David Lee.
When you can just allow David Lee to sit over there and you don't even play him, that's just scary depth that you have on your roster. But also that shows you what kind of scouting they have as far as putting the team together and the general manager.
Yes, exactly. The way that team was built from the past couple of years coming into this year, signing a few other people out of free agency and giving them the depth that they needed to make a finals run. So, like I said, I still wholeheartedly believe that the Warriors will win this series. The Cavs still have a chance, but like I said, they got to do some coaching changes. And also we got to see if LeBron is able to be more efficient and not play over 40, 45 minutes a game.
Yeah, because if you're relying on LeBron to shoot the ball 38 times to win, it's just not going to happen. It's just not. Because I will take the Warriors every game with the way they play and be able to facilitate the ball versus LeBron ISO on the top of the key or on one side of the court, just trying to back down Andre Iguodala over and over.
Yeah. And then also another thing that I noticed, I believe, it was in overtime where Steve Kerr went small ball. He had in Draymond Green at center, Harrison Barnes at power forward. He actually had Harrison Barnes guard Timothy Mozgov, and then he had 3 guards out there. So that seemed to give the Cavs a lot of problems. They pretty much, I don't know why they weren't attacking the rim. I mean, they pretty much looked like they were just settling for jump shots in that overtime period, even though they had Draymond Green, who's a 6'7", small forward / power forward playing center. You got Harrison Barnes, who's also the same height, that plays small forward. I don't know why LeBron or J.R. Smith or somebody didn't try attacking the baskets. They didn't have any shot blockers in, but it just kind of confused me because it seems like they were just settling for jump shots and just dribbling the ball late into the shot clock.
Yeah, I'm glad you brought that up because I was very confused by Steve Kerr not having Andrew Bogut out there. And for the life of me, again, I know I've talked about it, but why does Timothy Mozgov not get the ball against Draymond Green in the post? You know, I know LeBron was going good and everything, but he was dead tired. You could tell it.
Yeah.
And I don't understand why they could not get the ball to Mozgov down there in the post, because, like I said, he was hot. He shot over 50% from the field. And, you know, all game long, he was proving that he could be a reliable scorer for him.
Yeah. I don't know. Like I said, maybe it's just one of those things just because his name isn't, you know, James Smith or Irving, or, you know, maybe because he's of different ethnicity than the stars on those teams.
Hey, let's be honest. Let's be honest. There's a lot of memes out there on Twitter and everything. I'm glad you brought that up because hey, it may be funny, but it has some truth to that, because we know that, you know, it's a lot of narratives that don't make any kind of sense, and just look at the guys out there that just get it done. And I don't care what the names are. I know me and you, you know, agree on that. If he plays well, he plays well, no matter where he's from.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, you know, if you got a guy out there, like, prime example, even though I hate to bring this up, Game 4 for the was it Game 4 or Game 6? One of those games, Game 5 or Game 6 for the Rockets when they came back and beat the Clippers. You know, you had Josh Smith and Corey Brewer out there just going bananas in the fourth quarter. They left James Harden on the bench. The Houston coach pretty much just like, hey, these guys are hot. Yeah. You know, I'm not going to mess with the flow, even though I have a star on the bench who hasn't been playing well. I'm just going to leave him on there and let my people that's hot finish out the game for us, which they came back and won that game.
A great analogy. See, that's swallowing your ego and your pride and the media getting on you and doing what's best for the team. And that's something that Kevin McHale did. I think it's what David Blatt needs to make an adjustment on, because it's clear to me that Mozgov has a athleticism advantage over Bogut.
Yeah, very much so. Athleticism advantage. And then, of course, like you said, when they put somebody like Draymond Green on him or Festus Ezeli, he has the height advantage and athleticism over them, that he can just either, you know, back his way down to the post, you know, and he's also a very good free throw shooter, too. That's something else that most people aren't.
Two pressure free throws at the end of the fourth quarter.
Yeah, at the end of regulation to put the game into overtime.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, what if he's American? I just don't think he would have got the same field opportunities he got, you know, in the game, because, I mean, like you said, all playoffs long. But when you have a name like Timothy Mozgov, you're just a worker, just a great guy. Just, you know, he gets those tough rebounds.
Yeah.
You know, no athleticism. He just works hard.
Yeah, you know, pretty much what you're supposed to do when you play professional basketball at the pro level. You know, supposed to be a hard worker. I don't know why that, you know, people would classify. I was like, yeah, he's a hard worker. He's a tough, gritty guy. Like, aren't you supposed to do that? This is your job.
Stay extra late at the gym.
Yeah, exactly. But you know, that's neither here nor there. But yeah, man, like I said, great. Game 1 was a very good game. I'm very excited. Looking forward to Game 2, seeing if the Warriors can continue this besting out the Cavaliers, or if LeBron and gang has something coming back to tie the series 1-1. You have any closing statements before we get out of here, Bryan?
Yeah, I do. I got another knowledge dart for Mr. LeBron James and J.R. Smith. Little breaking news on Twitter. Little B actually called out LeBron James and J.R. Smith for flicking their wrists in a tub without their shirts on after the Eastern Conference Finals victory, and told them that they need to pay homage to them or they will pay for that. So for J.R. Smith shooting 3 of 13 and LeBron only getting 2 points in overtime, you might want to talk to James Harden about this curse, because it's coming for you now and it's not looking too good. So you might want to go ahead and tweet, send a thank you note to Little B, because this is not looking good for y'all.
Yes, very well said. Also, another fun fact for y'all that didn't know, Little B is from the Bay Area. He was a part of the pack, the group that was out there, you know. Got my Vans on, but they look like sneakers. You know, that may be over some of y'all younger people's head. But anyway, we want to thank you guys for watching. Please make sure to like, comment, subscribe. If you want to, check out our past NBA videos where we recap the Eastern Conference Finals and the Western Conference Finals. And finally, now, don't call me Nostradamus or, you know, Miss Cleo for saying this, but I'm just gonna equate this year and this playoff run for LeBron to his first win in Miami in 2011 when he lost to the Mavericks. He may lose this one, but look at the bright side, Cleveland. He also may win 2 more the next 2 years. That's gonna be it for me, Mike Titan. It's my co-host Bryan Greer, and we'll see you guys next time. Peace.